Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look and feel years.
1, 2, 3.
Dildos for the second time. 'Cause
Double
technology.
dildos.
Okay, so we're gonna
There's
go
a lot of
through
dildo going on in here.
what we think the future's gonna be like, but we're gonna do it by 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, then a million years. Maybe we should do 1,000 then.
1,000. Yeah, it's 1,000 then a million.
Yeah.
10, 50. Did we do 50?
Yeah.
Let me
10,
write this shit down.
10, 50, 100, 1,000, then a million.
Okay.
I always did like the movie The Time Machine because they did like a million years. It was way different.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we will start with 10 years out. Let's do our predictions. Who
Alright.
wants to go first?
10 years, so I'll go ahead and go. Obviously not too much is going to change in 10 years, right? Like, that's just a decade. Like, it's more
Well,
like a
you
stylistic change.
You say that, but... So 10 years ago, I don't think there was much change, I'll grant you.
Yeah. Like,
But-
80s to 90s, different. But 2000 to 2010, basically cell phones.
Yeah, that's what... So 1994 to 2004, so 1995 is when the internet really took off.
Yeah.
I think that was like an enormous change. Like, to me, 1994 feels so different than 2004.
Yeah.
But 2014 feels like 2004 with nicer stuff.
Exactly. That's my point. I don't think a decade from now is going to be super different.
So you don't
Maybe
think there's going to be any
more
major change?
driverless cars on the road, but not
Wait.
like noticeable, but not like, wow, it's insane. It's completely different.
You don't think... What about 2004 to 2014 change in that cell phone? Do you think there's going to be anything as big as a cell phone?
Ooh. In 10 years? No.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the big
Smartphone,
things, we
not
already
cell phone.
know what they are. They're just not there yet. Like 3D printers, driverless cars, and VR. I think
You
we already
say that,
have those
but-
things.
Are you sure you actually know? Like, okay. So those are all the big things on the horizon, right?
Correct.
But if I went back to you in 2003 and I asked you, Zach, what's the big thing that's going to change your life 10 years from now? Like, what's going to be the major technological breakthrough that you'll be just amazed by? Would you have said cell phone, a smartphone?
No, but it was kind of like 2003. We had like the iPad and we had the cell phone, right? And at some point,
you
those just
had an
converged.
iPhone. You didn't have an iPad. You had an iPhone. And people had cell
No,
phones.
not
but
an
just
an iPod, and we had a cell
yeah.
phone. And at some point,
Yeah.
those converged and became one. So it's
But-
not like it was
but
a
you're
huge
s-
stretch of the imagination.
But no, you're saying that with like what did it say? 2020 hindsight. You know, back then you probably wouldn't have said that, would you?
What, in 2000? What did you say?
Yeah, 2000 and let's say the year 2000.
Okay.
Would you say in 2010 smartphones are gonna be?
Well, obviously, I wouldn't say
life
smartphones
changer?
because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know, but would you have said a cell phone is going to be an amazing thing in your pocket?
No.
It has everything a computer could do, like, and it's
I
going to
guess
be a
I
phone
wouldn't
and
think about it, but
See? So how do
You got
why
that.
do you say right now that the big thing is going to be a driverless car and the big thing is
well,
going to
because
be...
what if I don't know
VR.
what it is? I can only go off of the things I do know. Like, what else could we?
That is a good point, sir. And I will yield that point to you. But that's the thing is, like, what makes you think that there's no unforeseen thing on the horizon that's going to be really big?
Well, because that doesn't happen every decade, right?
Let's think. Was there anything from the 80s to the 90s?
Well,
that was
look,
as big of a...
from 2010, we only have 2 years,
Uh-huh.
right? From 2010 to 2020, do you think there's going to be any big... What's the big diff? Like, what?
No. 10 years is in 2028. We're talking in 2028.
But I'm saying
what's
not
the big
every
difference?
decade has a big change. So from 2010
Yeah.
to 2020, there's only 2 more years. What's the big thing that's going to happen in 2 years? I don't think
No,
there is
nothing.
anything.
I'm just saying in 2028
Yeah.
will something happen by then.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I don't...
Oh, well, let's go through a few decades, okay?
Yeah.
So was there any major change that you can think of from 1980 to 19... So I said 1994 to 2004 because that was the big... We have the internet.
But you got to start decades with, like, the zeros, right? Like, 90 to 2000.
So that was the big change within it.
That
So,
had
okay.
the change of the internet in it.
So 1980 to 1990, was there a big change?
There really wasn't, right? Like, TVs just got better?
TVs?
CDs?
I would say, like, media got way
CDs,
better.
yeah, it's basically CDs. But it wasn't
I'd
like
say,
a
like,
major
cable.
change.
Would you think cable was major? Imagine your life if you only had 3 television channels.
But cable didn't change as much.
Probably not as much as a smartphone. I'll probably go
They
with
could
that.
easily be. I think that could have been a predictor. Yeah, of course, there's going to be more channels in 10 years. Like they're adding them every other year.
I would have probably said
Yeah.
that. They're gonna get a lot more
Yeah,
channels.
exactly.
Any others?
But what about the 70s to the 80s?
I'd say video games, right?
Yeah, video games was a big improvement. That's true.
That's a pretty big change. Do you think? Is that a big life changer?
No, it's a
I don't know. No,
technology
I think it's a
change.
no.
not
It's
life
an
changer.
enormous industry.
That's true.
Are you
That's
kidding?
true.
How many people are addicted? I would say that is one.
It's bigger
That's
than movie
one.
industry.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically the movies were reinvented.
Yeah,
That's huge.
that's true.
I would say that's a pretty big deal. So 70s had a big major
Oh,
change.
you know what? I got one. Esports will
What?
become huge. I mean, they're already getting huge.
Ooh,
It was-
esports.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a continuation. Just like you said, cable
Yeah.
is a continuation of TV now.
But that's the same as you were
Esports-
saying with 70s to 80s. Like, we had Pong, and then also we had bigger stuff, and it became a huge thing.
No. 70s, I think, was the introduction of Pong. We didn't have Pong in the 1960s.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was Pong
I
was
see what you're
introduced, and it started building.
Maybe the elimination of network TV.
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? Yeah. I think that's what I will... So, I haven't given my prediction or whatever in 10 years. I think based on that, Zach, I would predict, 10 years out, there will be social changes based on the fact that so many more old people have died.
Oh,
That basically,
yeah.
network TV will not
It'll
be...
actually start to die. Like,
Yeah, like
bad.
nobody... Well, like newspapers today, almost everyone's gotten away from.
yeah, like
Magazines
people still
almost
buy
no
their
one buys.
local paper, basically.
Yeah. But I think 10 more years,
Yeah.
that's not even going to... Like, no one will even buy those. There won't be magazines on shelves anymore.
Oh, you know what has been a big change in the past 10 years?
What?
Social media. That's a huge factor in people's life. Like, MySpace came out,
That's
wasn't a
true.
huge factor in everyday life, but now it's like,
Facebook
that's a
is.
huge factor in people's life. Like, people were born,
Some
raised
people...
on social media.
That is... It's crazy to think about, I don't know. I still have a hard time picturing myself growing up with that.
Yeah.
Like, I now, today, don't use it. So, would I have done that back then? Or if I grew up,
yeah.
being born as me, would I have been just
I
naturally
feel like you're
brought
almost
into
forced
it?
into it. Like, if you were
Yeah.
in school at this age, like, how could you not be on social media?
Hmm.
Like, at some age, it's probably...
Yeah, okay.
Even if it's not, like, Facebook, you're probably at least on, like, a Snapchat or something.
And you know what, Zach? When did that happen, the whole thing?
Like, when did it explode?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't... I think it was when your parents signed up for Facebook.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like
about
the
what
year? I don't
Yeah.
really know. It's such a, like...
So,
hard to timestamp.
I remember when Facebook started, because I was in
Mhm.
college. I was actually, OC was one of the ones they brought
I
it
remember
to,
hating Facebook when
in
I
the
signed
earlier
up for
days.
it.
Yeah. It's 2003.
Okay.
And then let's say 5 years and then it exploded.
Yeah.
then another few years, and then it IPO'd. But I would say that's in that era. That's the between 2000 and 2010.
Yeah, for sure.
We got another major change, social media.
It's true.
So
You would never
maybe
see that
we are
coming.
wrong to predict. Yeah, wrong to predict that the major change won't come in another 10 years. Maybe by, we'll say 2030. There's just something.
There's something
we
we're not
won't even think
seeing.
of. Something I should invest in. What is it?
Not network TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more predicting the shit that's going to die. It's going to be everything that only old people do now, 10 years. There's just going to be so few people that were not in a digital era.
This is more governmental related, but the elimination of Social Security numbers. Like, not elimination of them, but like more
Yeah, I feel like we should have done
secure
that
numbers for
30
Yeah,
years
right?
ago.
secure identity numbers for people.
I don't know, the government moves so slow.
Oh.
I wouldn't be shocked if some of them still use
Cryptocurrency is another
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that was
sure they
big.
Ooh,
Cryptocurrency
yeah.
actually being accepted at like your local Walmart. That'd be crazy.
I don't know. I'm so iffy on that.
But that would be crazy, right? Like, it does
would be
exist,
amazing.
and you still don't even think that would happen. So if that happened in 10 years,
I
that'd
just
be crazy.
don't know if government will step in. Yeah, that would be a major change. I will grant
Yeah.
you, that would be
That would
huge
be
if it did
ginormous.
happen.
If somebody like Walmart just started accepting Bitcoin, like said, fuck you, government.
Chloe, what are your predictions? Let's say by 2030 or in the next 10 years, whatever.
Next 10 years?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to lose their job.
Oh, that's a good
You
one.
think automated away?
So you already see the trend that they're removing the cashiers,
Mm-hmm.
the people who work as, I don't know, like can be easily replaced
Yeah,
with machines.
like,
those jobs are going to be
that's
gone.
true.
Let me ask you. Is
McDonald's
that,
has
you
like a
think
little
that's
order
more-
machine now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's also a function of people dying?
What do you
Old
mean?
people dying?
A function of old people dying.
Because here's what I always think. I think, yeah, of course they will. Of course they'll automate away these stupid jobs. But then I think, we had this technology 10 years ago. There's no reason you could not have done this in 2008.
Yeah, it's definitely an audience
Yeah.
change.
That got used to.
Right? We could have done this easily.
But an old person wouldn't want to order from a machine. They would want to order from a
Yes.
person. Whereas millennials and
Yeah.
our generation are like, why would I want to order
Yeah.
from a person when I could just order from a machine?
I don't like people.
Yes. So.
Like nice, predictable machines.
Even in San Francisco airport, you know, the time that you have to go through customs, like being asked to be 10 printed,
Yeah.
a 10 fingerprinted.
Mhm.
In San Francisco airport, they actually have a machine, and you do that with the machine. You don't interact with the person. So, I mean, for millennials, it's probably easy, but for some older people or people who don't really speak English,
I like it.
that's going to be a, challenge.
Oh,
So, what do you think will be the fallout of people losing their jobs?
It's just going to be
Social revolution, or they get
No,
free money
they-
from the government?
They will get. I think what's going to happen is that they will going to provide a universal basic.
ooh, I like
and
that
then
idea.
The people
UBI.
the people who cannot find a job will be living on that, and there will be tons of what we call it slumps, that accumulating in like a corner of a city or whatsoever.
I like it. That's a hard, cold
Hey, I don't think
prediction.
what I do is automatable.
What?
I said I don't think what we do is automatable in the next 10 years.
No.
So I like that. Well, I don't like that my money's going to all those freeloaders.
Well, that's the only way to keep. the
Well,
world
but a
upright
universal
and then,
basic income, the thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million a year or no dollars a year, you still get the universal basic income.
So at work, some people were talking about AI, right? And how it is going to replace all these jobs, and all the tech capitalists in the Bay Area are going to accumulate just vast
Yeah.
amounts of wealth. And one of the people were like, well, you're just going to have a big social uprising, and, people are going to rebel, so they can't do it. And so I said, yeah, but you just have to teach the AI to use machine guns.
That's funny.
Great lunchtime topic.
Yeah, but it's true, right? Like, whoever has the AI, if AI does get good enough,
No, it's totally true.
you know, here's how you.
So
use
you
a
want to go to
machine
war?
gun
Okay,
and,
we'll use robots.
We
Yeah,
won.
you already
No.
lost.
No, I think the AI will never reach that in any short amount of time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
AI
20 years out.
But they
More
can-
in the 50-year mark.
Oh, boom! Yeah. Segue to next topic. Will it happen
I
in
think
50
so.
years?
I think AI will be drastically
What-
improved in 50 years.
What do you think's stopping it from 50 years out?
I think it's material science change for how we build computers. That need to happen first
Really?
before AI can really take off.
Why do you think that?
The amount
Wait.
of computing power to require for the AI to
No, are you sure? Do
function
you know how
is-
slow a brain really is? They run on megahertz,
I know,
but they're parallel processors.
No, it's,
Wait,
it's
what?
different, right?
It's a different architecture.
Like, so the way that computer is architecture is different with how brain is architecture. Agree?
Yes.
So whatever you store on the disk on the computer is
Mhm.
always there, unless you have a bad disk.
Yeah.
It's always there, right? But
Mhm.
you store something in your memory,
Mhm.
like in your brain.
Yeah.
It can be forgotten.
Yeah, but
So
you
this-
can emulate that, can't you?
Well,
You can occasionally delete shit.
You can emulate that, and also like the way that human computer.
But there's also like a recall function of the brain of things you think you've forgotten. Like how forgotten are things that are forgotten in the brain?
Right.
Yeah,
They're just
Yeah.
not retrievable, perhaps.
yeah. But
Because
there are
certain things
other
can like bring up a
functions
memory you haven't
in-
thought of in like 15 years.
Like the human brain are very good at learning,
Mhm.
right? And very good at detecting patterns.
I think what it's really good at is
Definitely pattern recognition.
hard to really define. That's the problem. Is okay. Like you can teach a computer to do pattern recognition. It can do images of whatever.
But to the
It's
level of
getting
a
better.
human though?
Again, it's amount
Close.
of
Yeah.
data required input and amount of
Yes.
data processing power.
Yes.
So this is why I said to reach the same level or
Mhm.
close to the human's ability to recognition,
Yeah.
there need to be fundamental changes in the computer architecture.
I don't think that's true. I think
Material science, yes.
we can basically fairly closely emulate maybe a few more generations of computers, and we can fairly closely emulate an entire.
Yeah, I
brain.
think in 50 years we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
think
So, I'll get into another nerdy topic, but so I don't think that's what's missing. I don't think it's the hardware. The hardware, maybe we're a little behind, but it'll get there. Not that even hard. I think what's missing is like an algorithm that we don't quite know yet. Our brain works in some way.
Do you think
that we
quantum
have not
computing
figured out.
will do anything
Do
weird?
you think neural networks are right?
So here's the thing, right? I mean, it's a good point that you brought up the
Yeah.
quantum computing.
Mm.
Well, I don't know enough details about it to actually have an opinion on it. But the thing is, we are getting close to a physical limit to the processors, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it just simply, okay, you reach this much nanometers in how wide your line is on the processor. It cannot be narrower, right?
Right.
So there's a limit over there. So the only thing that I can see changes. So if you look at the human DNA, right, like
Mhm.
the protein chain,
Mhm.
it can encode a lot more information
No,
in such a short. What?
We know how much information is in DNA. It's like 5 gigs. There's 5 gigs in DNA.
Is there really? That's all there is?
But,
Wow.
Yeah.
but like you
I
can
might
have
even
more
be
pairs,
overdoing it.
right?
No. We know for a fact it's like because
No, I mean, like for a living organism,
no. What I'm talking about humans.
we're not talking. Well, I mean, we're talking about building a computer
Yeah, no, but I mean,
with
how much?
DNA as a base or something like that.
I know, but it's 4 base pairs, right? So
Yeah.
you can either have a G, a T, an A, or a C.
Yeah.
Guanine.
Yeah, there's only
adenine,
four
cytosine.
options.
You don't have to spell it out.
Whatever
you
it
know
is.
what it is.
It's essentially binary, but with 4 rather than 2.
Yeah.
And you know what? We can count those. We
Yes.
did. It's
Yes.
like it's 5 gigs.
Yes.
We can do terabytes, but we still can't figure out what that's doing.
Hold on.
That's why I think it's an algorithm. I think it's some clever algorithm that nature figured out that we didn't.
I think this just requires that by the time you figure out, you know how to build those.
I think I got my prediction for the next 50 years. We actually do find out we're in a computer simulation. And that fucks us all up. I don't know. That's for 50 years to decide.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen. In 50 years, it's not a computer simulation. Mm-hmm. Some guy is going to visit us from like a weird spaceship. And you know what we're going to find out? What are we going to find out? We're actually just a battery. The whole thing. Our entire universe is a battery.
That's
funny. And we provide for battery for some little space.
Mm-hmm.
We keep summer inside.
But that's the thing. You're asking how would you prove that? But I would have no idea because how would I be able to...
That's the point. Like, you can't prove your reality isn't real.
Dude,
right?
there could be a way. I don't
can't.
know. That's in 50 years to decide. Just like I couldn't ever think of the internet before the internet.
I guess.
Like, you want me to try and prove a way, but obviously the problem is I can't prove a way because I don't know of it.
What do you think will happen politically in 50 years? Will the United States still exist? Like 50 states?
I think there will be
All
more
of
than
it.
50 states. I think the United States will still exist, but there will be more than 50.
You
Yeah.
think? Which one? What do you
Well,
think
we
will
already
become a
have...
state?
No,
Canada?
because we already have the territories that will
territories.
become states eventually.
Or do you think any of the current states will split?
That's a good call. Because, like, I think you have, like, the idea that, like, Texas and those kind of places are separate. But I think California is, like...
California wants to split.
Yeah, I think
into
California is up there for
They're-
one of
they're-
the ones.
They were trying to get it on the ballot
Really?
this year. And I don't even know if the federal government would allow it, but they still want to try it. And Texas is thinking about doing it for electoral reasons, right? Because it might go basically
You think, like, maybe we
Democratic.
actually become
And while
50 states with independent laws like it was supposed to be?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to break away, even harder to
Yeah,
break away
it's
from
so
the federal
large, which
government
was
than it
not
was
supposed to
before.
happen.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think they're ever breaking away. They can just become
I got a
smaller
question.
and
I think I know the answer. A major war. It has to happen within 50 years, right?
You would think so.
Yeah,
Just
like,
too many
it just
people.
happens.
Too many guys
Yeah.
that haven't
Like,
died
it's
yet.
just, eventually there's got to be a
They're
war.
just sitting around, nothing to do. They got to kill somebody.
If not even for, like, hidden political reasons, eventually we have to have a war.
That's true. Yeah, I would say that would be a prediction. 50 years out, I would say definitely a war. 10 years out,
But I'm
it's a
saying,
maybe.
like, a non-political
It's a
war
maybe.
like the Iraqi war, like an actual full-out
No.
world war.
Yeah. I'm talking
Yeah, exactly.
big war. Big war where, like, borders are
Yes,
changed
that's what
kind of
I
war.
mean. Because we already have, like, hints of that,
Yeah.
right?
I still think
Yeah,
10 years
yeah,
out,
no,
it's
I'm
a
totally
maybe.
with that.
You think, Chloe?
I think...
Well, let's hear Chloe. Do you think 10 years out it's a maybe, a definitely, a major war that changes world borders? Or, like, governments are changed, like, different PRC is founded.
Don't think that would have happened.
What about 50 years?
50 years, maybe. I don't know.
She's going maybe.
Strong maybe, or probably
I'm
not.
going to like 40%.
40% in 50 years?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
too
like,
conservative.
there's been a war literally every
You
20 years
underestimate.
forever.
Yeah, but not
No.
major.
It's different.
Majors are every, like, 50 or
nowadays
100.
when the government start to control, like, having massive destruction weapons, it's become almost, like, impossible to overthrow the government.
You know-
and you guys are thinking, like, yeah, everybody just pick up a gun and then just
You think that,
protest against the government. It doesn't work that way.
but people thought that too in
Yeah.
World War One, before World War One. In fact, they thought World War One was going to be the last war ever.
The
We're
war to end all
modern now.
wars.
And that's what they literally called that war. They literally called. No one called World War One. They didn't know there
Yeah.
was going to be a part two, so they didn't call it World War One. They called it the war to end all wars, or
Okay.
they called it the Great War.
Okay, how about this? is there a possibility in the next 50 years there are some countries that absolutely need to expand the border to allow its own country's economic growth?
Yeah. That's the one you're from.
Oh yeah, did you see that article? Did I send you that article? Oh my
No.
god, it was funny. I sent it to, I think, Care or something. Because I told him, like, you guys suggested I should shave my beard or whatever. And then an article came out. Here's the headline. China versus religion. China passes new law that not only bans the promotion and practice of Islam in China, but also allows the government to detain its citizens in re-education camps for eating halal and having unusual names or having abnormal beards.
I
I was like, oh shit. Like, I didn't know how for real that
I
was.
told you. That's not a normal thing. You don't see
Yeah, I
people
was
with
like, oh
beards like
goddamn.
I don't know how true that is.
It was an article.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's something they only do in the Muslim provinces.
It was an article from BBC.
I've never been there, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think BBC
Yeah.
just makes shit up. Well, you know what? Let's just say there was an alien invasion today, guys, and who had a birth to some, I don't know, alien baby or whatever.
Yeah,
the tabloids crazy
what
shit
is that
they come
one?
up with.
Newsweek or News? Not Newsweek. Something like that.
Yeah.
One of those weird ones.
I gave birth to a cheetah.
Who buys those?
I still to this day have no idea. I've never met anyone in my life that says I read those things, but they're
we
still
don't hang
always
around
on
with
the shelves. I don't
that
understand
type of
it.
dumb person, though.
I feel like that's
That's probably
a very good thing.
More than the majority of society that would believe those headlines. Like, you gotta think of the bell curve, right?
Probably.
Most
sadly.
of them, like, there's 50%
Yeah.
that fall below the bell curve.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always surprised by how much Chloe thinks people are smart. But she hangs around with PhDs, and I always try to remind her, you are in a fucking bubble.
You're in a bubble, Chloe.
You don't talk to how the other people. There are a lot more people like someone in her family that might be presumed to be dumb as shit
Okay.
than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, there's some dumb people out there.
You know, war also could be broken out just because there's a unsuppressible conflicts domestically. So they find an excuse to start a war and then draw other people's attention towards a war.
You know, I think it's a small war. I think major war those will happen when...
I think, like you said, border redefining. Like, all of a sudden, countries don't exist, or borders are completely changed.
Yeah,
But not
somebody
including
needs-
Africa, because that just happens on a daily basis.
Yeah. They need resources to feed their population. That's when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the only one that I could see being a civil war within, let's say, the U.S. or any other big country, major country, which would draw everyone in. That's another possibility.
Yeah.
Is one has a huge civil war that draws in. So when there's a
Do you
struggle
think the
for
United
power,
States could have a civil
we're
war?
like,
I don't think so.
not
either.
impossible. 50 years out, it's
We
a slight
definitely
maybe.
have a divide in our country right now.
Yeah. I think it can go for
Yeah.
10 years. It's just getting a little shittier. But 50 years, small maybe. Not as big as a great big war where it's between countries.
No, you guys really need to have widen the gap between the rich and
That's
poor.
happening, though. Yeah, we're definitely
we're
working on it.
Not quite to a degree where it's definitely going to happen.
Okay.
What?
100 years out, does your estimates for big major war or civil war change to be like much, much larger? Like definitely in 100 years we'll have a civil war or a great war. Like 100%.
100%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or what about AI? 100 years, will we almost certainly have human level AI?
You know, at some point, I do think the concept of country might be abandoned.
The concept of country?
And what's replacing it?
Oof, I don't know about that. I think humans still have such a monkey brain that I don't think that'll ever, like, maybe $1,000,000 prediction, but 100, no way.
No, see, well, think about this, right? Like, we have a lot more diversity back in the old days, before the, like, transportation happening, right?
Yeah.
And now, if you look around the world, the poor people are struggling more or less the same way, right? They feed on the really cheap processed food. Maybe some areas still have some organic, they grow their own stuff, but they're quickly turning into processed food, right? And living in the same slums, the environments got polluted, right? And you look at on the other side, which is super rich. The super rich basically get to live any country they want because they can afford a place over there, right?
That's true.
They're always treated like a special class. This is why
there's practically no border.
Ah, that's a good point.
Exactly. This is what I'm getting. That ultimately in the future it's going to be happen the conflict between the super rich, but like the poor around the world
They still want their nations.
Goes to be universally poor. Doesn't matter where you are, but you're poor, right? So that's just like, and then we already passed the point that getting the resources. I mean, getting resources is still important, but like a lot of resources has been come to depletion almost. We're counting on the technology advancements to find new resources.
Yeah.
If there's no point of owning new land, there's no point of opening the borders. There's no point of...
That reminds me of a 50-year prediction. Because something that's really important would be transportation. I think Elon Musk's, like SpaceX, being able to travel to a place like China in 30 minutes with a rocket would change. That would revolutionize the world.
For the super rich.
Yeah. That's not
but in 100 years, maybe.
Like Chloe said, that's.
But that could be in 100 years.
That
could change the. Yeah, exactly. If I could just be somewhere else in 20, 30 minutes, like, oh hey, I'm in trouble in the United States. Bye. Like you could travel so fast, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But see, okay, so the travel time getting a lot less fine. The fact that rich people can change their citizenship, sure. But still, you have major
But that's a big
governments
problem to deal with, though.
that disagree on that. No, so the nations aren't going to dissolve just because people can travel quickly and they can change citizenship easily. It's one guy in charge of a big army, and he says this thing. And
but there's no
guy in charge
armies
of
anymore
another
when
big,
there's
big army,
nukes.
he says this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be like warlords.
Still, there's different procedures for those nukes on different countries, right? They have to come to okay, you're going to be the big guy in charge of things, and I won't. That's a hard
That's so programmed
thing.
into humans.
That's not
it's
the
hard
one that's
to
going to be solved.
imagine
That's what's going to
without it.
prevent it.
Yeah, it's going to be conflict whatsoever. It doesn't have to be just a nation.
We're also assuming that humanity survives through these 100 years. I think in 100 years, yes, but when we're talking 1,000 or 1,000,000,
we will.
Well, we haven't really done 100. We need more predictions for 100.
And you know what's good about? For 100. And you know what's
You
great
could just
about
make shit up and it will
the
never
rest of
matter.
our predictions from here on?
You can't fact check us. Yeah.
We can't be wrong. I could live another 50 years and see whether or not I was right. I
Well,
could go
you don't
back
know.
To this podcast 50
Who
years
knows?
from now.
Within-
You're like, what a dumb fuck I was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
prediction
could be
could
the prediction.
be.
I'll live another 100 years.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Like, what if there is some
Medical
breakthrough technology that just makes humans live? Not even necessarily, like, forever, but for 50 years longer?
Where do you think those cancer research got their funding?
Where do you think what?
Where do you think those cancer research got their funding? It's rich people afraid of dying.
But you know what? Whoa. Paul Allen just died of a cancer, right?
Yeah.
It shows you billions.
We
won't
still
fucking
haven't
save
solved it.
Well, there's always...
There's still some things out there. It's going to get you.
Well, yeah, but but humans are trying, right? Those
Yeah.
technology advances, they don't come as you
That's what I'm saying.
If I Google it,
If
he don't
there's
really
so
do
much
that.
money being thrown at eternal youth,
I would.
eventually,
Yeah.
even if it's not forever, we're just going to keep on increasing that. Like, all of a sudden, people are living to 150
Eventually
years,
something will
200
turn
years.
out.
Yeah.
But you know what? All those things, you still going to be super expensive.
But
Oh yeah.
if
You-
if the
by you,
payoff
you
is to
mean
live
rich
another 100 years, like, can I take out a loan? Like, look, dog, if I take out a loan for this, I live for another 100 years. Obviously, I can pay it back.
Yeah, it's a pretty big payoff.
Yeah.
It'll be weird economics putting that
Yeah.
logic through. I bet if
But
you
then
have
you're
that
like,
skill
well,
set,
fuck you,
you're
I'm not
like,
going to
yeah,
pay it.
you're-
Peace, I'm going to
yeah,
get in my
but you're a
SpaceX and go to
slave
China now.
Slave.
There we go. I think we just solved the next 100 years.
By the way, rebellion.
So, so what you're going to see in the future is maybe...
That's
like,
already happened, right?
You know,
Poor people already die younger than rich people.
live long.
Because you can hire a personal chef to make really good meals, and you have,
Yeah,
like,
to some
nutritionists
extent, yeah.
and stuff. You have, like, staff on hand to make sure you're healthy.
Life expectancy.
Poor people can't even visit the doctor when they're not healthy.
Are you talking about Queen Elizabeth?
I eat ho-hos and Twinkies.
You're still living probably
Every
longer
day.
than a poor person.
For breakfast, dinner, and
Because
lunch.
once you have an
You think
issue,
I'll
like
live
a heart
100
attack or
years?
something, you can go to a doctor.
That's
Oh,
true,
that's
yeah.
You know,
that's already
I
there.
think-
Just not very
I
good
think
ones.
also going to happen, like,
Yeah.
tremendously sex robot.
Yeah, I don't think
you'll
they're quite
get
that.
better.
That's true.
The
How is it
human,
true? I don't
the
know.
human companionship.
I feel like it's really hard to replace. Like, robotics has a long way to go. Like, we saw the robotics competitions. Those robots are retarded.
I mean,
And they're
I think it's going to be
definitely not
fetishized.
I know. It's just like 100 year ahead. I mean, come on. There's a market.
Just like people that are into, like, I forgot the name for
Baby,
it, but
you into
anime
metal?
porn. Like,
So actually, circling back to what I predicted for next 10 years,
there already is a
more
huge
and more
market for
people will lose
entertainment,
their
though.
job and live on universal incomes, right?
Mhm.
So it's going to be a huge market for entertainment.
Mm.
So, right, it will get bigger. So what's the VR and AR going to sell you in the future? It's not just the entertainment. They're going to sell you a dream, right? So that's why it's sort of connected to circling back to that the sex robot thingies.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the massive majority people have nothing to do whatsoever, and they're just going to throw away their life like this. Because A, they know maybe they're too poor to live long enough, or B, they cannot make enough to improve their current situation.
And they're gonna do what?
Oh, they're gonna like throw away their universal income on
For-
like I don't know, sex robots or like.
But they'll still have children, so there will still be more poor people. But how are they feeding the children?
yeah.
Welfare.
How's that different from now?
And the wealthy people will just keep paying for these. Well, I guess that's kind of what's kind of going on now. They're not contributing. We're just like, have more babies. Here's their money. You know what? Forget my counterpoint.
I don't know. If there is absolutely no use of having those extra people, and we'll see another trend turning up.
You know,
like
to go back though, we do need to teach the AI to use machine guns. Because given the rate,
I'm
of
hearing a lot of
rich people
predictions
having
of
babies
AI
and
with
poor
machine
people
gun.
having babies. I want some AI with a machine gun. Because we can't, have those things ourselves.
no,
They outnumber us. We don't have enough bullets.
no. You see the problem?
What?
You just have people to have really cheap sex robots. So they have
It's a
sex
metaphorical
robots that
machine
have
gun.
motivation
No more.
to mate,
Yeah.
and then they will not have offsprings.
So that's the machine gun, a sex robot. It's a metaphorical machine gun to kill the population.
I would like to add a 10-year prediction. I just now realized.
But I think it's
Yes,
The Discourse of Human Events will finally break 1,000
But I like
downloads
the
a month.
idea of metaphorical
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we
put that
thinking
more
in
in
1,000
the
years, though? Like, there's so much that can happen in 1,000 years.
Yeah, 1,000 years, I think it's going to be more different. Like, if you go 1,000 years back today, and it's like medieval era.
I'm trying to think,
everyone's
like,
a king and they're wielding swords and shit.
let's
There's gonna
say
be
countries are
more
dissolved.
change in
People
1,000 years from now. I think
Rarely
change
leave
is
their
sped
house
up
because they can just
from
get everything
1,000
from their
years ago.
phone or their home, like where they're at, they can get it. Stores are not a thing anymore. You don't go to a store to buy stuff. You don't even buy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I think. Like, you remember the Black Mirror episode where they just duplicated the guy?
Yeah.
And
In
then
1,000
they,
years, yeah,
interrogated his
definitely.
duplicate? Like, things are going to be so different. I think we will get to that level of AI where we could actually look at your brain and make a copy. And think of how different that will be when you will say,
But not
I want
slaves. You
1,000
could hive
of
mind
me on my
yourself.
computer and doing stuff for me. Like, all the things I want to do, like, figure it out.
So you're saying,
I have
like
1,000 slaves that know.
But I'm saying there's
me
one
copies.
mind that is you with 1,000 bodies.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You have 1,000 of you. You could have a million.
That's what I'm saying. You can hive mind yourself, so you can have 1,000 experiences, but one brain to experience all the experiences.
One mind that is you with 1,000 bodies. I don't know about that.
So, like,
That still has physical
Why
resources.
not? We have hive minds, right?
Nah, see, I don't think the
But
human
you-
brain architecture is set up such a way. Like, that's not going to be
But that's
you.
the point: is the brain
Like, that's
could
not gonna
be
be a person.
changed in 1,000 years.
Yeah, but we don't have, like,
You
I
could-
don't experience
you could
1,000
add-
different, like,
No, but
sensations at once.
Not
So our
evolution,
brain is
but
not
you
set
have
up to process
computers.
that.
but you
Even
add
remotely.
computers into it. You got a cyborg brain that's a hive
That's
mind.
something that takes more like evolution. Will like humans be doing this? They won't be humans because humans can't do that. Yeah, okay, I see.
Experiences.
Yes, a computer could process
That's
that.
but that's
and
1,000
in
years
some
from now,
sense-
right? How would you explain to a king
I don't
what
even
it's
know
like
what sense like they experience
to live
1,000
today,
different
to have like
simultaneous
access to any information
things
you
that-
want?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
It doesn't even like compute to me.
Yeah. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. What's a pocket?
I'd be like, dude, I can pull out this
pocket
little
you speak
thing
of?
I keep in my pocket and look at porn, naked women
Like,
all
that's
the
how
time.
different 1,000 years can be.
Yeah, exactly. Pocket.
talking about.
But they're moving images.
Prediction for
But they're not.
Like, hold on,
Really?
sit down. Let me
They're
try and
little
explain porn
copies of
on the internet to you.
And they're
Like, how would
about
you do that?
100th
It would be
the
impossible.
size, and they don't do anything. It's just. I really want to go back in time and explain this to old people.
From what?
I actually have a prediction for 1,000 years
Okay,
ahead.
Chloe, go ahead.
I think human will run on extinction.
1,000 years?
Yes.
You think they won't be able to take the whole being able to duplicate, or like, how do you think they'll go extinct? Say that.
Oh, several.
They'll just
Wait.
get bored and be like, let's all mass kill ourselves.
You depleted all your resources before you find another one, right?
Yeah.
And B, massive war broke out.
Ah,
Then the nuclear weapons being thrown around,
Mhm.
right? Kills everyone.
Mm.
And C, super virus.
yeah, as I say, I think in a million years, Chloe, yes.
Right.
Extinction.
And the alien invasion.
But what if there's AI?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What if Okay. I'm going to move on to 1 million years.
I think we'll be on other
1 million
planets
years,
and stuff by that
extinction
point.
for biological humans. But there will still be virtual humans.
I disagree.
Like I said,
I think
you can
planets
copy
will
yourself
be computers.
1,000 times. And what's more, I think we'll run out of computing space. They will replicate, but still, at some point, they're not going to be. Artificial humans. No, okay, but the point is, all computational resources, hypothetical possible computational resources that are reachable, will have been established and inserted with.
And guess what we'll find out at that time?
We'll be doing computational life stuff, right? There will be virtual people, and it'll be completely full. There's no more computers. We've used all of them up throughout the entire universe. Reachable universe. And no. Here's what will happen. Is I think within
That's
that
what I was about to
space,
say.
they'll have
Eventually,
wars, and they'll
that
start
just means we'll just
exterminating other
like,
people
well,
that
we have all the
computers,
power to do everything.
the
What do we do?
resources to
Let's
emulate each other.
everything.
And they will be taking over those computers and putting on the copies of their own emulations instead of the other emulations. Yeah, we'll just get back to square one, and we'll just. I mean, once you get to the resources, you want to self-replicate.
I can totally see this being made into a movie. Humans replicate themselves and then find out that human 1,000 years ago was already a replicate.
Yeah. But do you think I'm wrong? Isn't that a possible?
It's a possibility.
Like, all computational resources are taken. What are you going to do if you want to replicate? And, like...
You become virus.
No, but the same way evolution happened. Like, the ones that replicate are the ones you get a lot
This
of.
sounds
So
like
there'll be
a
lot of programs,
multivax
software, emulated biological forms.
thing.
That want
Have
to
you read the
replicate.
multivax?
There's no resources for them to replicate on.
It's a short story where like they build a computer
that have the computational resources,
and it always comes
to
back
take them
with
over.
like
and they will start replicating on them.
there's not yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer. You have to read that. You haven't read that at all?
No.
It's been a while since I've read it. Let me Google it real quick. So it's like it's a short story by Asimov, and they basically create a computer, and they try and find out like what happens when all the resources are used up in the universe. And it always the giant computer always comes back with insufficient data for meaningful answer, and it like keeps going like jumping like 1,000 years down the road, 1,000, 1,000,000 years down the road, and they keep trying to ask this computer what would happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, that's pretty much the whole thing. But do you want the spoiler alert? So basically, the spoiler alert is that. Let me look at it because I'm going.
I don't know. Let's get there and you'll find out the hard way.
So it ends with like.
What's the spoiler?
Basically, the multivax becomes the thing that once all the resources are used up, it resets the entire universe and. The multivax says, "Let there be light," and it restarts the whole universe again. It's a really good short story. You should definitely read it, though. It's called Multivax. You can read it free online.
There you go. That's what'll happen.
It was made in '56, which is like super ahead of its time when you
Now,
read
I think
it.
my
Like, it
theory's
seems
more
very
plausible.
relevant to today. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Very modern.
Space Cobra. I'm gonna try and pet it.
Any more predictions?
I think what happens in Prometheus is going to happen.
Okay, do you think humans would be recognizable in 1,000,000 years?
Yeah.
What about 1,000 years?
I'm a biologist. There's nothing wrong with that.
What could go wrong?
Would like there be enough digital add-ons to a person?
No, I told you they won't even exist biologically. 1,000 years?
They will look very different, but still recognizable.
I got a question. Do you think Gattaca stuff will start happening a lot more?
I think that's where we're on the verge of where are there even just completely digital copies.
Yeah,
of
I think
people.
so too.
like maybe humans won't exist by then, or they will, or they'll be in the transition form to completely digital.
What? Are you planning on having a
That's the
Gattaca
question.
child?
I think, yeah.
The Gattaca stuff going to happen next 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
What?
Yeah? Does it really? You can like pick eye color and stuff like that?
Maybe a little bit. Nah. But I'll say the current technology exists
Really?
today in
That's
some
really
sense.
cool.
It is.
That's crazy.
You
That is
can-
Gattaca.
Yeah, you can get embryos.
Early stages of
and then They
Gattaca.
can do like
Yeah.
what DNA do they
You
have?
select
But what happens if, like,
Yeah, like you
There's
get
an
20
issue with
options
that.
and you select which ones.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
That's
I don't
today,
know.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's early stages, but it's here right
That's
now.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
What issue?
Hmm.
We know how it all
Yeah,
works.
that's true.
It's,
You're
we
playing
already
God,
have, for
Nick.
40, 50 years we've had in vitro
How dare
fertilization,
you?
right? Where they, and we know that's fine.
That's
So
awesome.
the only change here is you can sequence it, and
I didn't
know
realize the
what is
technology
it.
was there, really.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah.
You don't have
yeah,
every
it's definitely
gene really defined
starting. Like
yet.
I said, early stages, and then what's more is what's really like what somewhat preventative is the data behind like this is the gene. Well, what does that mean? Is really primitive. So
I feel,
we just
but
have
there's
really-
also nurture involved too, right?
You don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what
You can
makes
get the
a
nature
human smart
for
that
the
you don't know?
potential.
yeah, you
but
have
there's
like
still
indications
nurture for
like
everything.
20% of the time if they have this, they're 10% smarter.
But a lot of them is like,
It's like,
correlation, but you don't know
yeah.
if it's a causation.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Nurture does some, yeah.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can be a naturally smart kid.
What if you
but
did, though?
Nurture's not very
You know,
good,
Yeah.
slightly
I
causation.
solved all
You
of
get
the
two Nobel Prize
world's
winners,
problems
have the mate,
while I was in
take
the
the baby,
woods.
and then throw it in the woods.
It's
and be
written
like,
right
"Come
here
back
on
and
this
get the Nobel
leaf."
Prize from it. You know, like 20 years later.
Worked out
Hey
well.
kid, poke him. What groundbreaking research? Like, yeah, of course not.
Plus, it's not just being smart and being success in.
That's why we're writing the children's book,
Science
to
and
let that be known.
Yeah, you also have to have zero ethics. Be willing to steal, cheat, do anything possible to get ahead. These are very important things too. And those are also things you should be looking for in the genes when you select.
Yeah, that's true. There's a level of intelligence for many.
That's true. That is basically our children's book.
It's called social smart, which is, in some sense, is kind of important.
Me, dub dub.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
Mm. I have very low in most of them.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that totally made sense. I still love the comment where he's just talking about sticks. He's like, I don't know
That's
what's going to
related, but
happen
yes.
tomorrow. Is
Oh,
it
he's an
long and
idiot, but he's
knobby?
happy
Is
and
it short?
successful in that show.
And
You watch
smooth?
BoJack
I don't
Horseman,
know. Yes, yeah, that's a good one too. Their jokes, like on the fact that they're animals, a lot of times are so subtle. Like
I always just like that his painting on his wall
Yeah.
is just of tennis balls.
like just the casting as like the
Run,
Cat
run
sitting
the
on a
beautiful woman.
desk.
Tennis ball.
like little subtle stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta really pay attention.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and she went to Egyptian and said like, you look like cats.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not subtle.
And just
But
that she is a super
it's a good
hyper
one.
independent woman, right? And cats
Yeah.
are super independent, right?
And
They're
then
the most independent
Her,
ones.
her family motto is we always land on our feet.
Mhm. That's not so subtle. That's really direct.
I know.
That's good. That's a good show.
And
That's
the
a really good
BoJack
show.
Horseman went onto the valley to supposed to find himself and see
Mm-hmm.
wild horse running. It's not horse running. It's
It's just
a
little
bunch of
dudes.
horsemen running around topless.
I predict
Dude.
it'll have a good number of seasons, though, because it's a pretty good show.
It was hilarious. Mm-hmm.
So prediction: BoJack Horseman we'll have 1 million seasons in 1 million years.
That's true. They have an overarching story. Yeah.
I feel like they...
Yeah.
You know, it's not like The Simpsons or
That's actually
Family
a good
Guy
point.
where they just have, like, a new adventure every week.
Yeah.
At some point, they gotta be like, okay, we told his story. And I feel like they already kind of ran out of it.
That's a good
And they're,
point.
like, branching out to other characters
Eventually,
a lot
like...
more. Like, they had the whole one on...
You are going to run out of stuff with BoJack.
What's her name? Princess Caroline.
That's where you introduce a
they
baby.
had one episode entirely on her. Because they
That's
had
the
run out
baby
of shit
problem.
for BoJack to do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's time to have a baby, BoJack. They should do that as a joke.
Like to watch it, right? So they're
It's
gonna
good.
keep coming
It's-
up with stuff.
He had the child, yeah.
Oh, that is the
That's
old
true.
sitcom
Hey, they-
introduction when we run out of shit to do. Some characters had a baby. Now let's see what they do. They kind of
Yeah.
already have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
But they should show
Yeah,
like
a
the
daughter.
time when
But you know what will be-
like their
It'll be
episodes
better
had
and
the
more
baby,
made meta.
and now he's having a baby,
Because
and the differences between
in the
those.
show,
it would
he's
actually be a good
character
season.
on a show that would have done that.
I think
like,
we
that's
just
what he was famous
found
for.
out what they're doing next
So it's
season.
actually
That's
a
what
great
I think we
idea.
just found out. Yeah. Dude, if that happens, we need to keep track of this because if next season actually has that, it'll blow our minds.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what the hell?
We
And
just
they
wrote
also
the
have
next
to have a
season
jumping
for them.
shark
They just need to listen
season
to this
too, right?
podcast.
Something completely stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BoJack gets a baby.
That's true.
BoJack becomes a fighter pilot.
That's true. It's hard to do a jump the shark, but the jump the shark with the definition of
Mr.
the when
Peanut
it
Butter
goes
already
bad.
became the governor of California.
That's true.
It seems like they can do crazy shit. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy shit show.
But how funny would it be if they predicted it goes bad and they parallel it with it goes bad within his old TV show?
Okay. Yeah. Then, I do think if they do keep it going too long, it will go bad.
Like, we're gonna make our show shit next season. We're gonna make it a terrible season, but we're gonna parallel it that the other show was a terrible season too, and that's when it ended.
I don't think Netflix would approve that idea.
Like, why would
We're
we
gonna make
ever
our show
air this?
shitty, but it's okay. We're going to allude to it.
I don't know. Netflix is killing it though with shows though.
Intentionally.
Like, did you watch Big Mouth? You haven't seen Big Mouth? Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's a cartoon with Nick Kroll. Do you know Nick Kroll? He's from The League, which you probably never watched. But it's about a bunch of... It's an animated cartoon on
what's
Netflix,
that?
and kids... It's about kids going through, like, puberty and, like, high school stuff. But they're like...
No.
what do they call them? Hormone monsters. They have hormone monsters that are, like, kind of like the demon on their shoulder, like, when they're horny and stuff like that. Like, stuff you could never do on normal TV. And it is hilarious. Big Mouth. Yeah. If you watch one episode, you'll probably watch the rest. It's a really funny show. And it's unique. Yeah, it's definitely worth one episode.
Okay. And it's called The Mouth.
They just came out with their second
Big
season.
Mouth. Okay. Maybe I'll watch one episode.
And it is good. Alright, so that's our
Alright,
predictions.
So at
We
least
got,
one
we got
episode
off on
to
a
see.
tangent there at the end. Hello? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Hold on. Do you hear me now? Hello?
And 1,000 years from now. Or
Oh,
a million.
hello?
Okay, 1,000,000,000,000 years from now.
Hello? Oh. I just realized I closed my laptop, not
Yeah.
thinking that that's what I'm
What is
streaming
that?
with. You want it shut down.
Shit, we lost him. Hello.
It was 2 cups of alcohol, I think, that did that one.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Two
Where did we
glasses
lose
of
you?
the moonshine.
Hey.
But anyways, I was saying, well, that concludes our predictions for the
I'm
future
retarded.
episode.
Have
I
I
think
told
that was a
you
pretty
this?
good episode.
How much?
Yeah, I said
yeah, I was
the
gonna
end
say,
got
how
off
much have
track,
you had?
but you know that happens.
The moonshine.
So
He's
next week,
fancy. Alright.
Cool.
Alright. Talk to you then. Later.
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 Later.